opposite of something to fear. It is so fun.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is June 18th, 2021. This is episode 352. And today, Invincible Technomancer. That's right, folks. And Razzle Dazzle, I'm your best buddy, Basil.
And this is Gonz, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ. Welcome to the podcast where we bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And if I sound stressed, it's because I'm completely stressed. You bombarded me with first off, we're starting early today because you're on the road. Second of all, you don't have access to like half the things that you normally do, so you're messaging me while we're playing the intro for passwords, and I'm stressing. And I'm looking at the stream, and the chat box isn't working.
Oh, good. Yeah, so we'll have a lot of, Gonz, I'm sensing a lot of blame shifting, and you know what? That's okay. Today, I will be your rag man.
No, it's not you. I blame Odyssey because Odyssey not being able to, for whatever reason, work today, because our stream is there, but the title's wrong, the thumbnail's wrong. It's all from the last episode. And
it is kind of
Odyssey
funny.
gave
Nothing
me this
is working today.
Odyssey gave me this thumbnail uploader not working, which is like, all right, Odyssey, figure out how people can still stream without uploading a new thumbnail. Come on, guys.
They're like, we can't figure out how to upload an image, so you can't stream, suckers.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Well, on the other hand, also those who are watching the live stream will notice that I am not my usual self. I honestly don't know what you have up there because I don't have the stream up. I'm trying to conserve bandwidth today. I am on a foreign internet Wi-Fi network, which means I got to run into the skeleton mode. I don't know if that's a thing. But you know what I mean. We're running light over on Basil's side of things today, which means on one hand, I have a lot less to pay attention to, and I'm also not in a VR helmet. So as we learned with the last time I was on the road, when I don't have the VR helmet to keep me focused and on task, I get distracted by the simplest things. And one thing that might be interesting is I'm actually staying in a haunted hotel, allegedly haunted hotel right now.
You are currently in a haunted hotel.
I am currently broadcasting from a so-called haunted hotel.
You got your EVP machine.
You know, I didn't know the hotel was supposed to be haunted. And when I was leaving for this trip, you know me, Gonz, I'm a bit of a prepper. I just like to have whatever I might need with me at all times. Yeah. I was holding my EVP machine, my EMF detector. Two different things. Sorry. I had my EMF detector in my hand before walking out the door. And I said, surely this one thing I have no reason to bring on this trip. And I left it at home. And then, surprise, surprise, I end up in a haunted hotel with no EMF detector. So far, no paranormal activity, but, I mean, it is interesting. I am recording in a haunted hotel. Who knows what sort of spooky voices might come through.
Great. Wonderful.
Yeah. But I will say, I have not registered a single supernatural event since being here, except for there's coffee service on every floor. So I didn't have to go all the way down to the lobby to get coffee, which was a new experience for me. It was wonderful.
Excellent.
I will not be giving away the name of the hotel. I don't have, I'm unable to see chat right now, but I'm assuming somebody is asking about that.
Yeah, people are trying to figure it out, and And of course, protecting your identity, saying you won't dox yourself.
Not going to dox myself. There's thousands of haunted hotels, allegedly. So good luck, folks. The hunt is on.
You know, my 4-year-old just asked me yesterday what ghosts are. So I kind of had to give her the basic version, but then also the not the basic, but you know, I first told her I'll explain it to you when you're older, and she was like, "Well, no, tell me now." And I was like, "Okay." So I kind of went into the whole.
Sounds like me as a kid. if my parents are listening to this, they'll be chuckling at your plight because as a super young child, I would like force my parents to tell me like their bank statements, like what their current stock portfolio. I demanded to be super involved.
Wow.
in stuff a child should not be involved in.
Yeah, it's intense. Stock portfolio is intense. So I gave her the sort of the Elohim, concept side of things, which it went over her head, obviously. But my basic thing was, you just have to know that, just Jesus is going to protect you from any bad ghosts. And she was like, there's good ghosts, right? And I was like, well, they might act nice, but they're not always nice.
Who knows?
She was like, oh. Well,
that's good. You gave her the Elohim thing. I got in a big conversation with somebody in the lobby last night. About ghosts, of course. I mean, I cannot believe I did not know I was checking into a haunted hotel. It's all anybody around here could talk about. They're just like, I can't order food. I can't get coffee without somebody being like, well, did you see a ghost? Like, no. So anyways, yes, I got into the Elohim thing, the Witch of Endor, Samuel, conjuring, not conjuring.
Well, it was a conjuring,
thing. It was a summoning, technically.
Sure.
But yes, the Hebrew being the Elohim there. And you know what? These are great conversations to get in at a haunted hotel.
Yep.
Not quite as good for a live podcast, but still fun.
Yeah. Well, I caught up on the first couple episodes of Loki.
Okay, you're on it. You see, you know what? This is a new thing for you, Gons. You're keeping up with the pop culture.
I'm sacrificing sleep to keep up. Yes.
Kind of stepping on my turf, but that's okay. I'm glad that you're indulging in something else besides all of your attention going to childcare.
Sure. Yeah. It's an interesting show. A lot of time stuff.
Yeah, they're having fun with it. So far, as a time traveler myself, so far I'm at least enjoying the way they are portraying the time travel. Have you seen episode 2?
Yes. It's called The Variant, by the way. The episode title is
that's
The
what
Variant.
I'm saying. The Variant thing is coming on strong. And I just want to make a prediction now. We can put it in the red book. The jacket that Loki is given that says Variant on it, that will be available for sale at Hot Topic within 6 months.
Yeah. Guaranteed. And
I certainly will be buying one.
I went to the local store here just before we get into everything, and outside there was a sign that said,
your local general store down there in Orange County.
Yes. I won't mention which one, even though it doesn't matter. But there was a sign out front that said, you don't have to wear a mask if you have gotten vaccinated. So I was like, all right, whatever. I haven't been wearing a mask inside any of these stores for the last couple weeks minimum. So I walk in there, and it was so weird because now the people who are wearing masks are technically the non-vaxxers, right? So I saw people wearing masks looking at me like, look at this disgusting vaccinated human. It was such a weird feeling. I'm like,
the switcheroo, man.
Yeah, it's a switcheroo.
It is strong and it is powerful. This whole switcheroo. Nobody knows what to think about anybody. If you're a mask lover, you're walking around wearing your mask. People don't think you're vaccinated. They think you're a filthy animal. If you don't wear a mask, vice versa.
Okay, well, let's get into the show. We got an interesting Flippy update for you.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
That's right, folks. It's time for the Flippy Update. If you're new to the show, Flippy is the colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways that robots are taking over the world. And now there's nothing we can do about it. Today, this is coming from medgadget.com. Medgadget.
When I first saw that head, or not the headline, but the name of the website, which I think we've referenced before, but for some reason I thought Medjet, and I thought, wow, that's kind of offensive.
Medjet.
So
yeah, that's not good. Yeah, I mean, it is an entire website devoted to medical gadgets, which is so specific, but I guess they got enough content to keep people coming back. Here we go. Are you ready? The headline.
Yes. Go.
Yes,
Go now.
Stop stalling, please. The headline is highly maneuverable, magnetically controlled miniature robots. Oh boy. Researchers at Nanyang Technological University in Singapore have developed miniature robots that are highly maneuverable and can rapidly move in 6 degrees of freedom. These tiny devices are magnetic and can be controlled using an electromagnetic coil system that precisely manipulates the direction and strength of magnetic fields. The researchers hope that their technology could pave the way for tiny surgical robots that could access difficult to reach areas in the body, such as the brain. Oh, good. Yes, whatever you got to do to get those tiny robots in my brain. Please, please, please. Micro robots are a significant focus. I do want to point out micro robots, not nano robots, micro robots.
And not microbots. Is that something else?
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, good point. Micro robots are a significant focus for researchers at present, and their potential in the biomedical realm is significant. Tiny robots that can enter our bodies and perform complex tasks would be very useful, but achieving this requires some innovation and persistence. This apparently getting tiny robots to roam around your body is not an easy task, these writers want us to believe. This latest development showcases highly maneuverable and dexterous robots, an impressive feat given that they are approximately the size of a grain of rice. The robot can move in 6 degrees of freedom. DOF, they want us to know, is a nice little abbreviation for degrees of freedom, meaning that they can move along and rotate around 3 spatial axes. While this has been achieved in previous tiny robots, the current devices can perform these movements very rapidly. Speedy little robots, achieving specific movements that are 43 times faster than those of previous devices, and with significantly increased torque. Now listen here, Gons. When you're talking about micro robots swimming around your bloodstream, getting into your brain, it's not about speed, really. What you're looking for is torque. You want those little microbots to be able to just rip off the starting line and do good torque stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The torpedoes.
Guys, Gons is not paying attention to me.
I'm doing administrative work here.
I know.
There's a lot going on in the background. Emails coming in, artwork coming in. There's just stuff happening over here.
I'll read some more. I'll stall.
I'm playing the video too, so just in case anybody watching is wondering, they do look like little. It's a very simplified version of. You'd think robots, little microchips or whatever. They look like little stones with a little flap of wings and little hands and.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a very interesting style of machinery. It looks like a little tiny rock. It reminds me of when L.A. Marzulli went to the hospital to remove this guy who thought he had an implant. It looks like one of those implants.
Yes, it does look like an alien implant. Faux show. Yeah, well, there you go. Maybe this is alien technology. It seems kind of clumsy for what I would want alien technology to be, but still cool.
When humans get their hands on it, it is clumsy, maybe.
Yeah, good point. Let me just kind of finish up with a quote here. Quote, "My team sought to uncover the fundamental working principles of miniature robots that have 6 DOF motions through this work, said Lum Guozhan, a researcher involved in the study, in a press release. Quote, by fully understanding the physics of these miniature bots, we are now able to accurately control their motions. Furthermore, our proposed fabrication method can magnetize these robots to produce 51 to 297 folds larger 6 DOF torques. They're torques than other existing devices.
You're scaring the ghosts over there by yelling into your microphone.
I know, I kind of blew that one out. Sorry, podcast listeners. Our findings are therefore pivotal, and they represent a significant advancement for small-scale robotic technology. So there you go, folks. The tiny little robots that will soon be swarming your body, controlled by magnets, are here. And so watch out. Next time you see a fly in your soup, it could be a KGB spy drone that is just trying to weasel its way into your intestinal tract.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's the little they have little wings. There's one that looks kind of like a block of cheese, like a slice of cheese, but it's black.
That's how they get you.
And it rotates. I don't know what the purpose of that one is, but
that's the new and improved 6 degrees of movement, Gons.
Okay, that's good. All right, is there anything
there you
else?
Go. That's it. That's all for the Flippy update.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into some stuff here. Oh, there's a big story here. Are you ready to be a cyborg?
Are you ready to become cyborg?
This is coming from CNBC. What?
No, I'm just chatting. That was a ghost. That wasn't me.
Oh, weird.
Yes, the the ghost came in and is very interested in the show.
Yeah. All right, headline here. Ex-Facebook VR exec says he'll turn U.S. troops into, quote, invincible technomancers.
Oh, good. That sounds great.
Just raised $450 million. You know, Basil, one of our exit strategies can be just make claims about how we're going to cyborgize or like transhuman the world. Somebody's going to give us money.
It works for the lizards in Silicon Valley,
Apparently.
So why not us?
Yeah. The story here, Andrew founder Palmer Luckey, I think it's Lucky, announced Thursday that his startup has raised an additional $400 million in funding, which will be used to, quote, turn allied warfighters into invincible technomancers.
Right.
The company is now valued at $4.6 billion. Lucky is best known for his Oculus to Facebook in 2014 for $2 billion before he was fired in 2017 amid controversy for his political donations and financial support of far-right groups.
Oh my gosh. So he got trumpetized.
He got trumped and
he was canceled.
Yeah. And this is the guy that's going to, because Trump was really, pro-military and I sent a tweet out yesterday with this headline. And basically my point was that, I have great respect for our military who've served to protect our country, and people who join the military now, I cannot do that. I honor them, and I think it's a really courageous act. However, just understanding history that, the last 100 years, a lot of the sentiment, the patriotic pride was part of a psyop.
Yeah.
And moving forward, that sentiment of patriotic pride might get hijacked by this crazy techno thing going on. So yeah, it's interesting that this is like a far right guy, but his announcement of the new funding was unusual. Quote, we just raised $400 million in a Series D funding of Andrew Rill. It's a hard company name. Lucky said on Twitter, it will be used to turn American and allied warfighters into invincible technomancers who wield the power of autonomous systems to safely accomplish their mission.
Yeah, this kind of tuned in with the Skynet thing.
Yeah. Our future roadmap is going to blow you away. Stay tuned. He's a real pitch man.
This sounds like complete hogwash. I don't buy this. I think that, first of all, $450 million for a first round, that is a great first round. This guy is making promises that are incredible. But you must assume that a large, if not the majority, the lion's share of that investment is coming from the government, the DoD or DARPA.
Yeah.
That's DARPA money for sure.
Well, Series D is the 4th round. So this is
I'm
not
sorry.
the first round.
I must have misheard that. Yeah.
Technomancers sometimes appear in postmodern role-playing video games and in science fiction, often as sort of magical, wizard-like people with technology enhancements.
Yep, I can hold my tongue no longer, Gons. There's a game, I believe it's called Technomancer, and they show up a lot in video games, especially, and basically, it's this very fascinating and currently compelling concept of basically a wizard, but his wizardry is powered by technology.
Right.
Yeah, which is sort of the modern, of course, what is the phrase I'm looking for? It's just the modern manifestation of the desire for magical powers, but you mix in the technocracy, you mix in the old phrase, magic is just technology we don't understand yet, stuff like that. And this guy is promising to turn, look, something like this in either on a different timeline or even an earlier part of my life. If I knew that the military would give me a chance to become a technomancer, I would be 100% in. I think part of this could be part of the sort of military recruiting strategy for the current generation.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like in the last 100 years, in the 19th or 20th century, with all the wars, it was, hey, protect your country, be patriotic American. Now that narrative doesn't really get people fired up to join the military. It's all these kids that have been playing video games all their lives. How do you get them to come to the military? Well, you tell them you're going to become a transhuman cyborg technomancer.
Yeah. And, the army specifically, but different branches of the military throughout history, they play a big part in funding different mass media, whether it's obviously Hollywood movies, the military is very involved in, but also famously video games in the past 5-10 years have been almost entirely funded by the military because, you get people hooked on these military games and it gets them fantasizing about becoming a soldier of one kind or another. Technomancer, the video game, I would not have guessed was funded by the military. But after this story, I'm thinking maybe that was a long play.
Yeah, well, there's if you go to the wiki page of technomancy, it says in science fiction and fantasy, technomancy, also called technomagic, is a category of magical abilities that affect technology or magical powers that are gained through the use of technology. Yeah. And what was it? Go ahead.
Sorry. No. Mine's slightly off topic.
Oh, the quote about any form of advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. That is basically where we're headed here. And I know you said you think this is all nonsense, that they're not going to do this. I think they're planning to try to do this, but let's read on here. Anduril Technologies is a
real
defense
quick,
company.
I'm sorry, but before you keep going, I must, because I can hear the Canary Crag Gamers Guild yelling at me. I do want to give a shout out to Final Fantasy III, where the Magitech concept first came in, which is one of the proto versions of technomancy in the Final Fantasy franchise.
Yeah, and that's Arthur C. Clarke. Any sufficient advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
There it is.
Anduril Technologies is a defense company that, among other things, provides border control technology, including towers with cameras and infrared sensors that use artificial intelligence to track movements in states such as Texas and California. The company said it's capable of deploying its artificial intelligence platform called Lattice in other places, such as military bases in the U.S., to help detect and track intrusions by other people and vehicles, including drones. Elad Gil, who led the funding round, said Thursday that society isn't prepared for the growing number of threats and that companies such as Anduril can help in a multitude of areas, from natural disasters to cyber attacks. And just real briefly, Elad Gil, he's a technology entrepreneur. He has invested or advised in companies like Airbnb, Coinbase, GitLab, Pinterest, Square, Stripe, Wish.
Wow, he is in everything.
He's in everything, and he's the co-founder of Color Genomics, and he's also was co-founder and CEO of Mixer Labs, which was acquired by Twitter. And he also worked at Google and started their mobile team and worked on AdSense as well. So,
oh my gosh,
the legacy of this guy is part of the reason why we are not on YouTube right now.
Yeah, that might be the number one most impressive Silicon Valley resume I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That's literally every core service being used in daily life for the average American.
Yeah, he said Anduril provides, quote, sensor networks, towers, drones, and powerful software that ties it all together, whose potential uses, including protecting our troops on base, defending our energy infrastructure, combating wildfires, stopping human traffickers,
of course,
creating a virtual border, a rare bipartisan idea, and fighting drug cartels. Many of these potentials...
that is a great sales pitch, I'll tell you what.
Many of these potential uses can directly save lives. You know, throughout the entire QAnon, hey, we got to take down the pedo thing, I was saying, and replace it with what? And what measures are you going to implement to make sure it doesn't happen? And this is what I was warning about, like this type of technological, technocracy, infiltration of military and everything else, where it can easily be abused, if it's not already. One more paragraph, I guess. Other tech companies are working to make American troops more lethal. Wow, yay. Microsoft, for example, won an Army contract in March worth up to $21.9 billion to provide special versions of its HoloLens augmented reality headsets to U.S. fighters. I think we reported on that. Mm-hmm. Andreessen Horowitz, 8VC, Founding Fund, General Catalyst, Lux Capital, Valor Equity Partners, and D1 Capital all participated in the round. So these are big-time venture capitalist people here. So the money's there. So, I think the super soldier agenda is well-funded.
Yep, there you go. It's there. Okay. Well, we'll keep an eye out for these Technomancers, and that kind of makes me want to go play Technomancer now. I never did play it.
Is that similar to like Deus Ex? I played Deus Ex. It came with my PC like 20 years ago when I first got one.
Wow. I don't know if it's the Skype connection or what, but that makes it the pronunciation you were putting on that makes it almost unable for us to air it. But yes, Deus Ex.
Deus Ex.
I don't know.
What did I say?
It's just running together, the two words.
I didn't even realize what I was.
It's okay.
Deus Ex.
Yes.
Is that better?
I never played it.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that was one of those ones that was a little bit too complicated for me at the age at which it came out. So never played it, but so I have no idea. But let's keep moving.
Science is truth.
That's right. Science is truth, folks. And we got another story here coming from newscientist.com. And this is kind of a technomancy heavy episode. And
I was going to say, this is a little throwback to how Canary Cry News Talk was at its inception. We were doing a lot of tech heavy news, but
yeah,
we said we wouldn't do politics, and then we started doing more politics just because it was
unavoidable,
news,
and most important, yeah.
But the news recently has been very tech heavy, so it's not us picking and choosing. It's just what's out there and circulating at the moment.
Yep. And the headline for this over at newscientist.com is World's Most Powerful Magnet Being Shipped to ITER Fusion Reactor. And it goes like this. The world's most powerful magnet is being shipped to France for installation in the core of ITER, the Experimental Fusion Reactor. It is hoped that ITER will prove the feasibility of creating fusion energy on an industrial scale by replicating the process seen in the center of our sun. The magnet, known as the central solenoid, is being shipped in parts and will be 18 meters tall, 4.2 meters wide, and weigh around 1,000 tons once fully constructed. With a magnetic field strength of 13 Tesla, it will be about 280,000 times stronger than the Earth's own magnetic field. Holy moly. That is crazy. These numbers are outrageous.
Nothing can go wrong.
Yeah, everything's fine, folks. Because of this, the structure that the central solenoid sits in will have to withstand forces equal to twice the thrust of a space shuttle to lift off. The magnet will be constructed from 6 modules, each containing 43 kilometers of coiled niobium tin superconductors. Once these coils are in place, they will be sealed with 3,800 liters of epoxy and shipped to the ITER construction site in France from the General Atomics factory in California. The first module leaves this month, and the next will follow in August. ITER will be the largest fusion reactor yet once. Okay, I'm sorry. ITER will be the largest fusion reactor yet once it is complete. With 2025, the current end goal, engineers working on the project aim to make it the first reactor that will provide more energy from fuel than is required to sustain the fusion reaction. The plan is to create 500 megawatts of usable energy from an input of 500 megawatts.
50.
Thank you. I'm not in the VR helmet. I get distracted. I'm reading and I look off to the side and I just kind of say whatever comes out.
It's Casper tapping on your shoulder.
Something. Fusion reactors replicate the reactions seen inside stars, where vast gravitational pressure allows pairs of hydrogen atoms to merge and create helium atoms, releasing energy in the process. In a fusion reactor, the gravitational pressure would be far lower than inside a star, so achieving the same reaction will require far higher temperatures. Unfortunately, the necessary temperatures of above 150 million degrees Celsius. Jeez Louise. It's kind of like Riverside in August.
Fresno in the summer.
Unfortunately, the necessary temperatures of above 150 million degrees Celsius would melt all known materials on Earth. So
melts all known materials on Earth. Okay, here's what I'm wondering.
I love the all known materials, not any material. All material.
All known material, which means it's going to melt to the bottomless pit.
Yes.
And then whatever the substance is down there, it's going to stop melting. And then the locust army will start emerging out of the giant abyss that has been created.
We thought CERN would open the abyss with a black hole. No.
No, it's this thing right here.
Melting a hole to the core of the planet.
If this thing does have some kind of meltdown, which it goes on to say that, there's measures in place where unlike a nuclear power plant,
there's measures in place.
Well, they suggest that, if something goes wrong, it shuts down.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike a nuclear power plant where, fusion reactors, if there's something goes wrong, it just leaks everywhere and it's an awful situation.
Yeah.
If this thing starts melting down and gets loose, is it just going to burn a hole right through whatever shape Earth we're in? Is it just going to go straight down? 150 million Celsius. It's that's like heat death now.
It makes me wonder if that kind of, it's the heat that is needed to fuel the inside of an eternally exploding star.
Which is going to be contained in some glass,
the hubris. The hubris it takes to think that we can contain such a cosmically powerful force. But hey, they're scientists, so trust them.
I always bring this up when there's like really advanced, far-fetched agendas and plans for the world's largest toys. But, it's just amazing to me that we've poured in billions and billions of dollars to CERN to replicate black holes in the initial moments of creation. And then also here, I'm sure this is there's been millions and billions of dollars poured into this thing to create the, to replicate the inside of a star.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, there's people pooping on the street. Can we just like reallocate some of the money to take care of the people first before we start creating
make a good point.
Death Stars in a laboratory?
Well, the argument would be, this would create never-ending free power, basically, from, and the sort of elite argument is, once we have free, everlasting energy, then, it'll turn the paradigm on its head, as if the current corporate megastructure of the energy industry around the world would let that happen.
I know.
This is a prime target for some serious espionage.
Well, it's just the logic is just lost because it's like, hey, we're hungry. We need to eat. I'm going to create the most effective oven the world has ever seen. It's like, well, no, we just need to feed them. No, we will cook 10 million chickens at once to, it's like, can we just be more practical here?
I would say, yes, we should be more practical than trying to create 10 million chickens at once. Although I think Tyson really figured that out already.
Oh, he did? What did he say?
No, Tyson, the chicken company.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Aliens.
I thought the aliens are going to figure it out for us.
Neil deGrasse Tyson has a lot to say about the chicken industry, Gons.
All right, sorry.
Yeah. And then the article goes on. It talks about how, don't worry, this is not nuclear power. This doesn't create radioactive stuff. Okay, sure, whatever you say. I really would have no way of knowing. Just have to trust what they're telling me. Yeah, I mean, that's most of the fun parts.
The very last sentence here says the UK is also developing plans for a spherical tokamak for energy production, STEP, a nuclear fusion power station whose construction could begin in 2030 if costs of around 2 billion euros are funded. So,
yeah, just a little shout out to Agenda 2030.
Yeah, it's like, once we get to 2030 and we figure it all out, then we can create the nuclear fusion reactor.
Yeah.
I don't know,
yeah.
man.
Ugh. Come on.
Well, if anything, it's a great setup for, if not the infrastructure now, then the future infrastructure for a cyber pandemic.
The COVID-19 crisis would be seen as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber pandemic.
I want to play this clip. It's 1:42. It is an ad that was put together by, I think it's the World Economic Forum. We talked about and I think this is a little older, but it's worth playing, the continuation of the virus and the pandemic moving into a cyber pandemic, and the comparison of a biological virus to a computer virus, biological variant to like a cyber variant.
Yeah.
And it kind of just wraps it all up in a neat little package.
The COVID-19 pandemic has shaken our economies and societies to the core and shown us how vulnerable we are to biological threats. In the digital world, similar risks are being overlooked right now. A cyber attack with COVID-like characteristics would spread faster and further than any biological virus. Its reproductive rate would be around 10 times greater than what we've experienced with the coronavirus. To give you an idea, one of the fastest worms in history, the 2003 Slammer sapphire worm, doubled in size approximately every 8.5 seconds, infecting over 75,000 devices in 10 minutes and almost 11 million devices in 24 hours. Fortunately, at least until now, cyber attacks have not impacted our health the way pandemics have, but the economic damages, and therefore the impact they have had on our daily lives, have been equal and sometimes even greater. You see, the only way to stop the exponential propagation of a COVID-like cyber threat is to fully disconnect the millions of vulnerable devices from one another and from the internet. All of this in a matter of days. A single day without the internet would cost our economies more than $50 billion US, and that's before considering the economic and societal damages should these devices be linked to essential services such as transport or healthcare. As the digital realm increasingly merges with our physical world, the ripple effects of cyber attacks on our safety just keep on expanding at a faster pace than what we're preparing for. COVID-19 was known as an anticipated risk. So is the digital equivalent. Let's be better prepared for that one. The time is now.
World Economic Forum. Thank you, World Economic Forum. And
COVID-like cyber threat.
Yeah.
Trigger.
And they had visuals here. That's all the swooshing and stuff you heard there of a biological virus merging with a digital virus, and just all the things. It's just crazy as the digital realm merges with our physical. I mean, come on. Did they just like take stuff from our podcast and the Face Like the Sun channel, which I've said like for the last 10 years, I've been saying, yeah, they're trying to merge the digital realm with the physical realm. Yeah. Much to people saying conspiracy theorists, but now it's the World Economic Forum making videos with flashy imagery going along with it. But
yeah, did you, I know I've asked you this off air, but I haven't checked in. Maybe I checked in today about it. Talking about the Bo Burnham special, the most recent one.
You love Bo Burnham. You brought it up like 8 times in the last week.
Here's the thing. I'm really not necessarily a Bo Burnham fanboy or even fan before this special, but there's a lot of hype around the special, so I checked in on the special. I think it's worth people checking out. Some adult themes and bad language, of course, but just so you know. But he focuses a lot on criticizing just culture in general, and especially COVID and post-COVID culture. And he has whole sections of this special dedicated to sort of ironically praising the idea that the digital realm is more important. And he has this whole sort of rant he goes on about how, real life, you just leave your house and you use it as a performance space to create content for the much more important digital realm. And it speaks to what you're talking about here. And given that, he's Bo Burnham, who's an insanely famous comedian, speaking into these types of things, I think it is a good indicator that what you're tapping into is sort of a low level ambient truth that it takes people like us and also Bo Burnham, who makes a habit of trying to, I don't know, whatever, these artist types always trying to make a point about something.
Yeah.
I guess I just say that to say that there is some sort of ambient low level awareness of this, even in the not so fringy spaces like here.
Well, I think part of being in the fringe isn't just because what the mainstream will paint as the fringe is all the crazy wild people on the edges of politics and ideology. But really, when we mention fringe, we're just talking cutting edge. We're just talking, ahead of the curve. We're watchmen. What do watchmen do? They're able to stand on the towers and look out further and see what's coming. So that's all we've been doing, really. While people are on the ground, they can't see as far. We're on the watchtower. We're watching, seeing the things come, and we're explaining like, hey, this is what's coming. And I think it's gotten to the point now where the realities of that are much more in our face. It's in the news every day, and culturally it can be spoken to or about by people like Bo Burnham, apparently, and brought to light. And it doesn't mean it's going to change anything in terms of the agenda, more awareness perhaps, because a lot of times, and I've noticed this a lot with the whole, just in general in the last 10 years with the New World Order topic, is that people will wake up to it. Oh my gosh, the New World Order, it's here. And then something will happen, and it's only after the fact where they're like, oh yeah, we talked about this. This just happened. Like the stuff we talked about it's already too late. Like we knew about it. Not enough people knew about it, but then they pulled it off and now we're here. Now we have to just, deal with the consequences.
Yep.
So
if you pay enough attention, you can tell the future.
You can tell the future. And
doesn't
on
take
that,
a crystal ball.
And on that regard here, let me just do this article. You could do the next one, Basil. But this is New York Times. Southwest Airlines delays and cancels flights for a third day. And my sister was on a flight the first day this happened. And I was like, oh, you're lucky you're not on Southwest. And she kind of gave me like why would I ever fly Southwest? And I'm like, you elitist.
Yeah, that is quite that's such an Orange County thing to say.
Well, she was coming from Alaska too, so she was on Alaska Air, which the big lion man on the back there.
Sure.
Hundreds of Southwest airline flights were delayed or canceled again on Wednesday as the company sought to resolve disruptions from earlier in the week amid a pickup in summer travel. The headache for Southwest, which is widely credited for pioneering the low-fare airline business model, began on Monday night when a problem with a weather data supplier prevented the airline from safely flying planes. The issue was resolved within hours, but on Tuesday, the airline suffered its own technological problems, resulting in half of its flights that day being delayed and many being canceled, according to FlightAware, a flight tracking service. Spillover from the episode caused Wednesday's problems, the airline said. About 10% of Southwest's flights were canceled and another 19% were delayed by mid-afternoon, according to FlightAware. Quote, while our technology issues from Tuesday have been resolved, we are still experiencing a small number of cancellations and delays across our network as we begin working to resume normal operations, Dan Ladson, a Southwest spokesperson, said in a statement. Southwest said on Tuesday that it was having problems with, quote, network connectivity. Mr. Lanson said that those troubles were unrelated to the weather data problems from Monday. Yeah, right. And that there was no indication the airline computer system had been breached or hacked. The flight disruptions came at a critical time for the company celebrating its 50th year, blah, 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 Gavin Newsom. Not exactly, but close enough.
Blah, 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 Gavin Newsom.
Newsom somehow going to save us all. But yeah, I think this is interesting. You talked about the whole travel and flight, with the whole cyber pandemic.
The transportation industry being a prime target for the ransomware and other cyber threats.
And they specifically said it was not hacked or whatever. But it just shows the vulnerability. I think part of what's happening now with the rebuilding of all of technological digital infrastructure is anybody that's kind of behind or slow on the uptake is going to start signaling. This is Southwest saying, hey, we got some issues. Government, you want to hand us a little cash to, beef up our technology? And I think we're going to start seeing more and more of that.
Well, it's further showing the trend, and when I say trend, I mean this is a long trend. This is not new, but as far as the corporate structure of America and the world, the best client that you could possibly have, the goal client for every big company, is the government. I mean, forget the average consumer. Seriously, forget them. If you can get the government to see you as an essential part of the mechanism, and you can get those sweet taxpayer dollars, you're set. Who cares if you take away more leg room and squeeze in an extra seat into the row of your tiny flying tube and make everybody uncomfortable and spread disease, et cetera, et cetera. Doesn't matter. The consumer doesn't matter. It's all about the taxpayer money. And on the same theme of the sort of fragility of the tech infrastructure, you go back to the magnetic, the mega magnet, the ITER fusion reactor, the magnet that has 280,000 times the power of the magnetic field of the Earth. I mean, you talk about instant destruction of all technology. An EMP blasting off of this thing would take out all technology on Earth and instantly plummet us into a new sort of caveman-like existence. So the threats are myriad, I guess, is the conclusion of this whole thing.
Yeah.
And they want us to know it.
Yeah. I didn't include the article in today's episode, and I totally forgot to perhaps add it into the additional story section, which you can all check out. All the links to every story at canarycrynewstalk.com. But
and more.
There was a story about how the West Coast is being slammed by climate change, and it's going to be so hot this summer, and the energy grids are going to be challenged and pressured because of the heat wave. And I thought, what a great time to do another whole shutdown, just like they did in Texas and other places in California. They're going to go for California, probably Nevada, Arizona. I have some stuff that I'm putting together to, withstand definitely a few days without the energy grid there, but still be able to access some kind of technology. But yeah, I think it's all part of the game here. And
put your generators in Faraday cages, folks.
The generator thing, and we talked about this off air, Basil, but like I got like a tiny one, solar solar what is it? What was the thing called? The solar pad thing.
Mm-hmm. Like a Goal Zero type thing.
Yeah,
solar panel thing.
Yeah, solar panel that a little handheld thing that you can fire up smaller gadgets with. I do want to get like a bigger one, but I just have nowhere to put it.
I want you to finish your point because I want to tell you about a new cool thing.
What's the new cool thing? Just go.
Okay, so it's called it's from Goal Zero, which is sort of the first consumer facing solar generator company, portable. And they have a new one called the Yeti, I want to call it. I think it's a Yeti, and it is a humongous solar battery, solar panel charging thing. And it's big enough to do your house, but it's portable. It's on wheels. You can kind of wheel it around. And it's, if you consider some sort of horrible something happening that might keep us off the air, we might want to consider looking at these things. The problem is they're $5,000 a piece. They're extremely expensive, but incredibly capable. Check it out.
Yeah, it also looks like they have a partnership with Tesla.
That does not surprise. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, some people are trying to use them as sort of an alternative to the Tesla power bank or whatever they call it that you get installed in your house, but this one's portable. So, yeah, I don't know. Again, not an ad. We don't get any money for this, but I was just looking at it and it looks like something, in your prepper sort of fantasy world, this would be the thing that you want.
Right.
All right, let's move on to the next story. Let's check in with the New World Order.
A New World Order. A New World Order. New World Order.
This is Bloomberg Opinion. And the headline, America should become a nation of renters. Dun, dun, dun. There's a little bit of a follow-up story to the BlackRock situation, the Agenda 2030, the World Economic Forum. You will own nothing and be happy. The article reads like this. Rising real estate prices are stoking fears that home ownership, long considered a core component of the American dream, is slipping out of reach for low and moderate income Americans. That may be so, but a nation of renters is not something to fear. In fact, it's the opposite. It's the opposite, Gons.
Really?
It's the opposite of something to fear. It is so fun.
Are they talking to... They must be talking to their lizard overlords.
This is a beautiful piece of doublespeak propaganda. The numbers paint a stark picture. After peaking at 69% in 2004, the home ownership rate fell every year until 2016, when it was 64.3%. Its lowest level since the Census Bureau started keeping track in 1984. The rate rebound.
84.
It's weird. Yeah. A 1984, nice little
Orwellian. Yeah.
But also very strange that they only started tracking this in 1984.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about tracking of data, you talk about like climate change data. They're like, oh, we've been recording climate change data for 200 years. We've been doing it for a long time. But you've only been tracking home ownership for 40 years? That does not sound right.
No, it doesn't at all.
It sounds irresponsible at best.
Yeah, that can't be true.
It does not make any sense to me. The rate rebounded in Donald Trump's presidency, cha-ching, hitting 66% in 2020. But that trend is likely to be arrested by a housing market that is desperately short on supply and seeing month-over-month price increases greater than they were in the frenzied market of 2006.
I'm sorry, just to mention this.
Uh-huh.
I just pulled up home ownership in the U.S. It's just a wiki page, and I'm just scouring through here real quick. But it says here, since 1960, the home ownership rate in the U.S. has remained relatively stable.
Yes.
It's decreased 1% since 1960.
How would they know? We weren't even tracking it back then.
When 65% of American households own their own home. Additionally, homeowner equity has fallen steadily since World War II and is now less than 50%. Statistics are not matching here.
I don't know.
But also,
that's what we get for reading the opinion section.
I know. In 2004, that's literally leading up to the housing bubble. So 69%, I'm probably 10% of that was homeowners that shouldn't have been owning homes because they can't afford it.
2006, but yeah.
Well, the crash was in 08, but I'm saying, did it start in 06? It's got to be.
This article is referencing the greatest increase since the frenzied market of 2006.
Oh, okay.
So I think 2006 was sort of the build up to the 2008 thing.
All right.
Let's continue. This process is painful, but it's not all bad. Slowly but surely, most Americans' single biggest asset, their home, is becoming more liquid.
Okay.
Call it the liquefaction of the U.S. housing market. That sounds great.
Oh, no.
I mean, once this giant magnet in France explodes, everything will be liquefied. So the housing market's no big deal. Even the best markets, single-family homes, have historically been an extremely illiquid asset. Appraisals have to be made on an individual basis, and mispriced homes can sit on the market for months waiting for a potential buyer, only for that buyer's financing to fall through. Oh, it's just so inconvenient to sell a house. Why would anybody want to go through the trouble? Liquid assets like publicly traded stocks and corporate bonds earn what's known as liquidity premium. Their market price is many times the dividend or coupon that investors get from holding them. The more liquid an asset, the higher that premium goes. On the flip side, those same high-flying stocks and bonds can see their prices collapse when investors get spooked and withdraw their cash from the market. Houses have typically traded with very little liquidity premium. That meant a relatively low purchase price compared to what it would have cost to rent. The equivalence of the dividend from housing investments as stable prices over time. It's kind of a topsy-turvy comparison they're making there, but sure. I mean, they're just talking about the difference between a mortgage price and the rental price. You'll typically pay more for the rent. These two factors made houses a good investment for moderate income families who often lacked the cash and risk tolerance for market investments. As investments went, single family homes were cheap and slowly grew in value in both good and bad times. In the early, interesting just to make a comparison there, with the advent of retail investing like Robinhood and others like it, and including the cryptocurrency market, interesting to see they are making a comparison between, the stock market is just too difficult for middle class families to get into. So the houses was the safest bet. And with the popularization of Robinhood and middle class investing becoming easier, interesting how maybe I don't know, it would take a very smart economist to draw these numbers together, but that might actually be a part of the assumption here that, why would you put so much money into a piece of real estate if you could just put it into Bitcoin or Robinhood and make more money, because we're all so risk tolerant here in the middle class.
Yeah.
In the early 21st century, automated appraisals and mortgage underwriting, blah, blah, blah. It may, I don't know. It kind of goes into the pricing equations of houses and why it's so difficult and why normal people don't pay attention to it. But it does not mention this. I do not see here. But a little update, Zillow and Realtor.com, I believe, updated their artificial intelligent pricing mechanisms on their website, or their app rather, which skyrocketed housing prices. I keep an eye on Zillow just because, I'm a smart millennial looking for good deals, baby. And it was literally overnight. Prices went up on houses due to this artificially intelligent pricing mechanism that these apps employed. Prices on these apps went up 40% overnight.
Did you see my tweet of a screenshot of the Zillow homes in my area?
Yeah, there's nothing under $1 million in your neighborhood.
It is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
I noticed the pump. Like it went from, oh wow, it's expensive, $800,000. Who can afford that? To it's 1.5 million now. What?
Yeah,
what just happened?
And it was literally overnight that this happened, and these are not list prices. This is just they pushed a button and the AI changed and the prices skyrocketed, which is very suspicious. Again, especially because Zillow and Realtor.com, places like this, are the middle class easy access equivalent. They're like the Robin Hood of real estate.
Yeah, that is very strange. I didn't know about the AI thing. I knew about how woke Zillow is with their new app logo, all rainbow color for the month of June.
Oh, they're changing the world. Good job. Again, another
very expensive.
I hate to mention it, but that is another thing that Bo Burnham kind of criticizes in his thing is like, okay, nobody cares, corporations, what you are doing. Like, if you're fighting some sort of social justice cause to sell Pop-Tarts, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll finish up this article just with some spooky things this person says. Sorry. I'll just skip to here. A nation of renters could lead to a world where location decisions are driven far more by personal preference and life cycle demands. Younger workers might prefer the excitement of a city. A couple just starting a family could reunite with their parents or siblings in a small town. The U.S. is not quite there yet, and not just because too many people are chasing too few apartments. To see the U.S. as a nation of renters requires a revision of the American dream of home ownership. This country was always more about new frontiers than comfortable settlements anyway. You think you love America so much? Well, go be uncomfortable on the frontier. You don't need a chance at lasting generational wealth. No, this person is lost. They're out of their gourd.
It's kind of disgusting to do that because they know. I mean, this person's probably progressive and whatever. Yep. And they're trying to because what they're going to face is a lot of opposition to, hey, we're Americans, we have the right to property, we have a right to privacy, we have a right to living our dream or whatever it is, and using that against them by saying, oh, it's all about the new frontier, being uncomfortable, doing the new thing, which is renting and not owning anything.
Yeah.
Change your dreams, America. You're destroyed. I mean, it's over. America.
Well, and here's the interesting correlation. Encouraging the middle class to live on the frontier and explore the frontier and settle it as real Americans do only goes to serve the rich and the powerful. Yeah. Much like the Manifest Destiny situation in the pioneering of America.
Yeah.
Where the robber barons, the steel tycoons, the all those guys, they just stayed safely on the East Coast.
Right.
They encouraged the average man, hey,
there's gold.
Go west, young man, settle the West. And sent the peons out west to settle the land. And then the big fat cats came in once it was settled and installed their big business to take over. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is sort of the overarching mythos of American history and the American dream, which is, hey, you got nothing to lose. Wander out into the frontier. Sure, you might get eaten by wolves or attacked by, natives or whatever the case may be. But once you do that, you're helping us, America, to establish this occult-driven superpower mechanism that mostly serves the rich. And don't worry, we'll pay for police and the military and things like that, but stay in line or else things aren't going to go well for you. This is not anything out of the normal as far as American history goes.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And most of what I think we're seeing in tying into the cyber pandemic, the BlackRock thing we covered recently, this is all part of moving the whole system to, I use this term loosely, more of a socialist. And people use it a lot recently. It's turning socialist. But it really is putting the power, putting the money, the ownership, all that into the hands of the elite.
Centralizing
power in the elite, and then everybody else has to mooch off of the elite. Yep. And that's how they want it, because then they can own you.
Yep.
And
own you, and not even own you, but own those who own you.
Yeah.
I mean, there's several layers to this pyramid.
Of course.
Yeah.
And the only way to fight it is, number one, awareness. But also, our Canary Cry commune is starting to sound real nice.
Jeez.
There's a blockade, and you have to prove that you're not a New World Order shill.
It is becoming more and more attractive, that's for sure. But, one other way to fight it, Gons, is with the value for value model. Let's take a little break.
It's break time! Come on, take a break.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a quick break and thank some producers of the show, talk a little bit about the value for value model, but don't go anywhere, because after the break, we're going to be talking about some Wackchain updates, some pandemic special. We've got some jab updates, some DNA stuff. Bezos makes an appearance, and a little update on the Epstein situation at the end of the show here. So stick around, don't go anywhere. But first, let's take a quick second and thank some producers. You may notice we have no advertisements, no affiliate codes, no supplements or merch that we're trying to push on you. No. None of that, folks. We are simply on the value for value model. The show that we do 3 times a week for probably much longer than we should do it is the product. And if you enjoy the product, if you find any value out of what we do here, whether it's entertainment or education or news you just may not have been allowed to see because it was not given to you on your news feed or something, whatever the case may be, you have the opportunity not just to support the show, but play a vital role in it, take some ownership, and get the gratitude of the rest of the listeners of the show, as well as Gons and I. It's called the value for value model, and it's very simple. We put out the show, we create value 3 times a week, and we try our very hardest at it. And if you get any value out of it, you can just put some value back in. It's a simple system, and it's a system that does not rely, again, on any type of third party or controlling force over it. And when we talk about that, we refer mainly to the advertising industry. That's right. You may be, we're all used to it by now. The brainwashing where the advertisements come on and we know we're getting something for free and it's great. But the big secret of this is that if you're watching an advertisement, you are not getting content for free, nor are you the customer of the show that you're watching. No. In that system, Gons and I, our customer would be the advertising industry, and you, dear listener, would be the product. And our job would be to say or do anything it takes to get you, our product, to turn you into an effective economic unit so we can sell your attention and your trust over to any advertiser who is offering us $1 for it. But as you can tell, we're probably, if my rant on the frontiersmen of America did not convince you, just know now that the idea of packaging you up, dear listener, as a commodity and shipping you off to some international advertising corporation is not a very attractive idea for me or Gons. And so in that case, we have eschewed the advertising industry to our own detriment, but it gives an opportunity for you and listeners like you to actively break away from the mind control and the frankly insulting industry that is advertisements. Indeed, Google, Facebook, Silicon Valley companies, they're in on this as well. 99% of their profits come from big data, privacy concerns, packaging you up as a little product to sell to advertising companies. So we don't want to be in the same business as them. So we are on the value for value model. Gons, you got anything you want to add to this before we thank some people?
Not really today. I mean, we're short on time a little bit, so we should probably get into thanking the producers.
That's true.
But we do appreciate everybody who has come on the journey with us. This is something that we felt like frontiersmen, just fodder walking into spiky
the great
thorn.
American tradition of putting ourselves at risk. But in this case, we don't really benefit any big corporations.
No.
So that's a plus.
In fact, it's the people that come after.
Frontiers for our own sake.
Well, yes, and it's the people that come after, the producers that come later, who benefit the most because the path is already laid down.
That's right.
So there you go.
There you go.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, with that, let's thank some producers. And folks, one of the easiest and easiest, I guess, ways to become a producer of the show is to head on over to patreon.com/ccnt. That's patreon.com/ccnt. And over there, you can commit to just supporting the show on a monthly basis. And we thank all of our monthly producers. And we got a couple new producers coming in on Patreon. The first of which, Gons, is Till Billy Girl.
Thank you, Till Billy Girl.
Thank you very much. Till Billy Girl sends a message here. Gons, I can already tell we're going to need to cut some stories at the end of the show.
That's fine.
So maybe you want to jump in there and choose some.
Okay.
Till Billy Girl says, Dear Basil and Gons, I wanted to send you a message since I have just joined your Patreon. Thank you very much. I have been listening to you guys regularly since last year. I figured it was about time that I stopped being a passive listener and get on board as a producer. I love your show for several reasons. I love this. Stop being a passive listener. We've actively avoided sort of using a derogatory term for passive listeners because, it's just not fair. If you're just listening to listen, that's great. We're glad you're here. But thank you, Till Billy Girl, for joining the cause here. She says, I love your show for several reasons. You guys provide a well-rounded discussion about current events, which I appreciate. Your sense of humor is awesome. I am in the habit of downloading your shows and listening to you when I am out walking the dog. Great choice. I will suddenly burst out laughing at one of your jokes or your creative jingles. And I am sure that I have received a few strange looks from the neighbors. That seems to be a common theme with our listeners. They get weird looks all the time. Thanks for bringing humor into what tend to be very serious and sometimes dark topics. I also appreciate that you bring into your discussion the biblical perspective. This is most important to me. I am from Canada, and there are a lot of crazy... Oh my gosh. Our hearts are with you, sister. I'm from Canada, and there are a lot of crazy things going on here, as I'm sure you are aware. Thanks again, guys, and God bless. God bless you, Till Billy Girl.
Thank you, Till Billy Girl. Appreciate it.
Next up, we have producer Sarah S. come in on Patreon.
Sarah S.
Thank you very much. I didn't see a note come in for her, but thank you very much, Sarah. And then lastly, on this Patreon, we have PBM. Producer,
thank you, PBM. Taking over PBS. Sorry.
Producer Bob Marley, PBM.
Oh, Bob Marley.
There you go. Yeah, that's all we have here for the CCNT Patreon. But we do have another Patreon, and that is patreon.com/Canary Cry Radio. You currently are listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Canary Cry Radio is our interview style show we've been doing since 2012. We interview all sorts of good people, important people, smarter people than us regarding the worldviews that are expressed here on News Talk. So we want to thank people who support that show, and they are coming in at patreon.com/Canary Cry Radio, patreon.com/Canary Cry Radio. One new producer, and I want to thank them. They are producer Trevor M.
Thank you, Trevor M.
That's right. Thank you very much. And that's all for the Patreon producers. Thank you guys so much. Now, if you don't like Patreon, that's okay. We support you. A lot of people don't like Patreon. That's why we have canarycryradio.com/support.
Canarycryradio.com/support.
That's right. canarycryradio.com/support is a great place to become a producer of the show. You can read about the value for value model. You can read about the roundtable of knights and dames. What else is there? There's cryptocurrency options, but there's also some ways to become a producer. One of them is you can come in as a monthly producer. We thank all of our monthly producers for supporting the show. It's a great set it and forget it option. If you are committed to keeping the show going, but just don't want to be bothered, you can go ahead and set that over there. But if commitment is not your thing, you can go ahead and make a one-time producership in any amount. Gons, who do we have coming in on the PayPal?
Just want to quickly thank all the monthly recurring producers out there and Knights and Dames for the PayPal. We really appreciate it. Don't always mention your name, but we are thankful and grateful for your contribution as producers or Knights and Dames. I say Knights and Dames because our first PayPal producer to thank is Sir Jason, Knight of the Anti-Foobar.
Thank you very much. Sir Jason, Knight of the Anti-Foobar, comes in with $150.33, which means he's one of our Illuminati handlers for this show. Thank you very much, Sir Jason.
And I actually got a message from him a few days ago. His wife came back from a heritage trip and found out that her great-great-grandfather was a 33rd degree Mason.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's our real Illuminati
Truly.
handler. Great.
1 degree removed.
This also makes Sir Jason our executive producer for this episode.
All right. Congrats,
There
Sir
we
Jason.
go.
Next up, we have producer Raymond P.
Raymond P. Do you have any idea what this number means?
No.
This looks like a Reedy number.
It does. I think if you mess with it, it's our episode number, but I have no clue.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, here we go. This is, sometimes people hide little messages in their amounts. And if you're new to being a producer, here's sort of the general rule. If you are coming in with a nice round number, we won't read it on the air because we always lean towards anonymity. But if you make it a weird number, we are assuming there's some sort of code, some sort of message, or you just want it read on the air. So there you go. For those who are becoming new producers, there's a little tip for you regarding what you want read on the air. Raymond P. is one of our associate executive producers for this episode. Comes in with $112.35 and a note that says, "For my brothers, love you guys. Keep up the good fight." Thank you.
Thank you
very much, associate executive producer Raymond P.
Raymond P. Thank you very much. And next up, we have Sarah S.
Sarah S. is our second associate executive producer for this episode, and we appreciate it very much. Thank you, producer Sarah.
And I didn't see a note come in from Sarah, but we'll see. Yeah. Well, if we missed it, let us know. Next up, we have producer Aaron J. That's Aaron. Aaron
is back. Thank you very much, producer Aaron J. Coming in with 7777, which is a fanny pack full of sevens there. It's got a note that says, "For I decided to know nothing among you except Jesus Christ and him crucified." 1 Corinthians 2:2 ESV. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Aaron.
And he's on a streak.
Oh, yeah. That's right. And I don't have my list. I finally, after all the complaining, I made my own complaining. I made a list of the streaks levels. And of course, I'm not at my usual computer. So again, I will be calling these streaks off the top of my head.
All right. Next up, we have producer Rashana.
Rashana or Rahana.
Rakana?
Rahana.
Okay.
Rachana. Thank you very much. Coming in with 7777, a fanny pack full of sevens, and a note says, "Hi, Basil and Gons. I've been watching your show for at least a few months now. For someone going through a long season of loneliness, your humor, wit, and lively conversations provide great comfort. I'd like to ask for prayers for my grandma. She's been locked alone in a house in India for at least a few months now.
Ooh.
Her memory had been deteriorating. Her primary and maybe only social contact is with a maid who comes to clean and deliver food. Her children, my mother and uncle, are both in America. To put it bluntly, they've been neglecting her. I want to help her, but I don't know how to send money or make sure she's cared for properly. Please pray for her health, for a way to ease her loneliness, and for her to come to Christ. She spent her whole life as a Hindu, but I sincerely believe God will find a way to turn her heart to the truth. God bless you, and thanks again for the great work." Well, there you go. Mission assignment, Canary Cry producers, Rashana's the grandmother over there in India. My goodness. Unfortunately, this is an all too common occurrence, not just in India, but around the world because of the lockdowns and things like that. But I imagine, especially in India, as we know, we've heard their lockdowns are extremely stringent.
Yeah.
And so that is a horrible situation. We'll definitely keep your grandma in prayer. And so will the Canary Cry producers, the prayer team that are devoted to intercessing on behalf of the show and the producers and listeners, everybody connected with the show.
Hallelujah.
And part of I'm just curious how alert Rashana's or Rakana's grandma is, because part of being able to send money, I mean, I know people have different thoughts on it, but if you use something like Bitcoin or some cryptocurrency, if she has access to a computer or a smartphone, you can just send them the money without really having too much of an issue.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm away from the microphone. Somehow my computer charger stopped, so I'm still listening.
Yeah, and the other thing is it's sad, but I was trying to think, like, how can we get people, maybe boots on the ground over there to come visit or something like that? And then I thought, wow, this is part of the called it or we tried to tell you kind of thing where we had the story of like the companion robots in hospitals recently. Yeah. And Grace, remember the Hanson Robotics Grace?
Totally.
I mean, if it wasn't for the alertness and awakeness of people like us, or just in general of the show, we would be like, hey, you can send Grace the robot to your grandma.
Get a robot. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, which is not the best thing. But in terms of the finances, maybe look into crypto, see if you can use that to get around a lot of the barriers to send money across the world. That's part of the reason why it's somewhat revolutionary. But prayers out to you, Rashana, and your family there. So thank you for this producership. We appreciate it. And moving on here, we have producer Matthew DLM. And Matthew DLM is coming in 7777. That's a fanny pack full of sevens. And he comes in with a note. Hey, Basil and Gons, thank you for all you do. Most importantly, keeping the gospel of Jesus Christ at the core of your deconstruction of mainstream news. I've been a long-time listener, but now a first-time donor. Now you're a producer. You're not donating. You're producing the show. I came across Gons' epic masterpiece. It's very kind of you. Age of Deceit back in 2014, which was a huge catalyst to my salvation. Boy, has the Holy Spirit used that documentary to educate many of the Lord's lost sheep. I thank Gons for it. Now, Basil, I know it's got to get tiresome hearing time and time again about how amazing Gons is for making Age of Deceit. All the while you're sitting there petting your cats while Gons takes the spotlight. But I have an idea for you to take some of that spotlight away in your own spin-off documentary called Age of Delight. Oh,
Oh, I like this idea.
This documentary, in my own imagination, would have you going into detail on the domestication of cats and how delightful they are in this present age compared to ages past when they were being feral and, well, not so pleasant. With the YouTube algorithms, I'm sure it would be a hit. This is just what you need to slingshot you into stardom.
That is a great point.
All jokes aside, that doesn't sound like a joke. I think that's a legit plan
No,
for Basil. I think he's going to start producing.
That sounds totally legit.
I thank you, as well as Basil, for your lighthearted silliness and love. The energy you bring to the podcast, the chemistry you both have together flows perfectly, which truly makes a great podcast. That's why No Agenda is so great as well.
Yep.
Please take this donation of $77.77 for 7 being the number of completion and perfection, which always makes me look to the works of Christ and his completion and victory over sin and his sacrifice on the cross for all that believe. Love you guys and praise the one true living God of heaven and earth. He's asked for some jingles here. You got the Trump, New Age, going down Olstein, Fauci, Science is Truth. Whew, I gotta pull that together if you want to stall for a moment.
Yeah, sure, I can stall.
Let's see.
I don't know if you noticed, I totally disappeared there for a couple of minutes. If you heard any voices, that was the Elohim that may or may not be floating around this hotel that I'm currently in. But I'm ready to start the show whenever you want, Gons. I know we're late. I'm seeing here where we should probably start the show. It seems I'm looking at the counter here. It says you've been doing the show for almost a couple hours now.
Start the show.
Weird.
What do you mean?
It's kind of weird that you would do it without me since I'm just getting here.
Oh, you're funny guy.
It's like a ghost joke, you know.
We will launch a new age.
We will launch a new age, and also Science is Truth.
Science is truth.
And I have to pull up the Olstein
the
one.
Osteen.
Olstein one's a little bit harder to find, so it's a
little deeper in the file. It's been
Yeah.
a while since we busted that one out.
yeah. Let me see here.
Okay. I have long thought of doing some sort of project. You know, doing these major big projects is a great way to sort of catalyze. It's one thing to do a podcast as often as we do, but it doesn't quite draw the attention that doing one big project really does. And of course, I've said it forever that yes, Gonza's Age of Deceit will forever overshadow my entire life's work. But if it wasn't for that. But if it wasn't for Age of Deceit, you know, there's a good chance. Well, certainly I owe a lot of my sort of internet privilege, Gons, to your Age of Deceit things. My association with you is a big part of it. But also, yes, I think it's, you know, the jingle you're looking for is You're Going Down, Olstein. I think we got to make one. You're going down, Shamura. It's all about Age of Delight.
Here we go. This one's for Matthew DLM.
We will launch a new age.
You're going down, Olstein.
Science is truth.
There we
Boom.
go. You're a true professional.
There you
Very
go.
well done.
All right. Thank you for that. Next up, we have Cherie. Woo! Producer Cherie coming in. I don't know. The amount is.
Yep. 1617 was
1617.
yesterday's date. So
okay,
it's a date producer ship. And she comes in with a note here. Says today's amount is a shout out to my mother. Her birthday was yesterday. Oh, so mother's birthday is what 1617 was. I spoke to her today for a while, and she's struggling with grief and regret of some of her choices following my dad's passing last year. I would be so grateful if she could be added to the Pray-Deucers prayer list. Thank you guys, and God bless. Yep, we're on it. The elite squadron of Canary Cry Pray-Deucers. So we've got Rashana's grandmother. We've got Cherie's mother. We're on it. Things are gonna start looking up here. Thank you very much, producer Cherie.
I need to bring back the Amen jingle here.
Yeah. There it is. Love it.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. We got to go through quickly here. Running out of time.
I know.
Next up, we have Sir Casey, the Shield Knight.
There he is. He's in. Thank you very much, Sir Casey, the Shield Knight, Knight of the Canary Cry Roundtable, coming in, and he is on a streak, baby. That's right, and it is his 21st episode in a row, which is a factor of 3. Yes, which, Blackjack. Yeah, okay. This is a special one. And yes, I got to make up an entirely new streak title for this one. And I think I will. Did somebody send in a jingle? Wasn't there a jingle last episode that sort of gave me the next level? I feel like Jack V maybe sent something in. If you don't have it set up, then I'm going to go with, let's see, we got the magnetic thingy. Let's see here, 150 million degrees Celsius EMP. Oh, that's right. Okay, Sir Casey, the Shield Knight on a streak, 21 episodes in a row. He is a deadly EMP explosion.
Wow.
Not my best work,
No.
but we're making it happen.
I like how as you go higher, you just more destructive, disintegrating ways of ending life.
That's kind of the theme. Oh,
Okay.
you know what? We'll make it a EMP meltdown. That's
Okay.
what it is.
All right.
21 is EMP meltdown.
Excellent.
I'll write that down here.
Thank you for that. Next up, we have producer James H. He's got to be on a streak too, right?
Oh, he is. Let me go check it. James H. coming for his 5th episode in a row. Thank you very much, producer James H.
Thank you. Next up, we have Quantum Epic.
Quantum Epic coming in $7.77. A pocket full of sevens and a note. Dear Basil and Gons, love your show so much, and being that you put one out 3 days a week is truly a blessing. Words cannot express how much I enjoy you guys' sense of humor and points of view you share on current events. Thank you, Quantum Epic. Thank you very much, producer Quantum Epic.
Thank you. Next, we have producer Daniel from Down Under.
Oh, he's back. Thank you very much. Don't ask questions. Sent in a note here. Fun fact, in Resident Evil Biohazard in Japan, there are characters named Chris and Claire Redfield, same surname as the ex-CDC chief Robert Redfield. That's true. Famously came out after he was ousted from the CDC to come out and promote the lab leak theory. Corona is an anagram of raccoon. Raccoon City is where the game is based on. Daniel from Down Under. That is true. Okay, making connections.
Connecting the dots with red strings.
Yes, our Aussie conspiracy theorists. It's been the plan all along. Oh, it's all coming together.
It's a red field of red strings on a board.
There you go. On a board. Very good.
Next up, we have producer Ciara.
Woo! Ciara is on a streak.
She's on a streak.
2 episodes in a row. She's coming in with 618. That's the date today. Amount is for the best calendar date of the year. Googly face. Wanted to point out the photo of the meetup flyer is the actual location in which we'll be meeting. Also, for future meetups, I typically share the information the month before. The point of sharing ahead of time is for a save the date. Can't wait for some of y'all next week. That's right. And if you don't know what she's talking about here, producer Ciara is on a roll putting on the Canary Crime meetups all over the country. And tomorrow is the one in Laguna Niguel.
I wish. No, it's next week. I think there's a Zoom call.
26th.
Yeah, there's a Zoom
call.
call.
I did not get a single date correct.
No, that was totally off, but it's okay. That's typical. When you're shooting in the dark, you tend to miss sometimes. It'll be June 26th at Torrance Beach, the SoCal Canary Cry meetup at 1 p.m. Please email Ciara Lauren, that's CIARALAUREN 93 at gmail.com. If you need to know more, go to canarycrynewstalk.com and we will find you will find all the information there.
You know, I'm realizing we should just add a meetup section on the website.
We do. Yeah. We need to come up with a link
get that
and
done.
A domain.
We'll make it work.
The whole deal. Okay. Thank you very much, Ciara.
I'm not sure why Ciara said amount is for best calendar date of the year. Is today her birthday or something?
She mentioned something about her birthday the other day in the chat.
Birthday, yeah.
We're going to go with it.
Is today her birthday?
I don't know. We're going to go with it.
Yeah.
It's my birthday. Happy birthday to me.
Yay.
Ciara. Ciara.
Thank you very much, producer Ciara. Yes, I'm getting confirmation. It is her birthday. Thank
Excellent.
you, Jacqueline, in the chat. And Ciara, you didn't tell us it was your birthday today. Come on.
She was coded. Best calendar date of the year.
I feel like maybe she did tell us. I don't know. Thank you, Ciara. Who's next?
Happy birthday, Ciara. Next up, we have producer Tristan H.
Thank you very much. Tristan H is on a streak. Coming in with $3.52. That's the show number producership. And Tristan coming in 10 episodes in a row. Thank you very much, Tristan.
Yeah, and being outdone. Scott K.
It's a competition.
Oh,
now.
yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Pin them against
Scott
each
K's.
other. It's how the
Scott
elite
K.
do it.
It's true. That's true. Gon's the Illuminati show.
On the
Thank
show.
you, Scott K. He is on a streak. 14 episodes in a row, coming in with $3.52 show number producership. Thank you, Scott K.
Thank you very much. Next up, we have producer Kim W.
Kim W is on a streak.
Oh, streak us. Starting to lose my mind.
I know, me too. Kim W comes in with a pocket full of threes, 333, and she sends Revelation 2:17. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To him who overcomes, I will give of the hidden manna to eat, and I will give him a white stone, and on the stone a new name written, which no one knows except him who receives it.
Yeah, it's a white stone, not a black stone. Black rock.
Okay. That's interesting. I've never paid enough attention to that scripture, I think. That is a very interesting detail. The new name on a white stone. The message continues. I am hoping to organize a meetup for Canarians in Northern Oregon, Southern Washington. I put up a thread on CCC, that's canarycry.community. Go join it. It's a real URL. About potentially going for a hike in the Estacada area, which is a Bigfoot hotspot, according to reports. Ooh. The hike would need to be on a Saturday. Please chime in if you're interested so we can find a date and choose a trail. Producer Kimberly. Thank you very much, Producer Kimberly. Let us know if we can put out some contact information for you. That's kind of the best way, I think, to make sure get people RSVP. So even if you want to just create a new email or something, the canarycry.community is great. But if you give us an email to send out on the show for an announcement, that might cast a wider net. But thank you very much, Producer Kim, and taking the advice. You know, anybody can throw a Canary Cry meetup. It's a great way to find other Canarians in your area.
Yeah, my wife's a big Oregon fan, by the way.
Like sports? Is that a sports thing or just likes the place?
She likes the location, the woodsy area.
Okay. A lot of things to like up there.
Next up, we have Reverie Decoded.
Reverie Decoded coming in with a pocket full of threes. 333. Thank you very much. No note.
No note.
Not that I saw.
Yeah. Next up, we have producer Laura E.
Laura E coming in. Thank you very much, producer Laura E.
With a short note, God bless y'all. Appreciate that.
Yep.
And last producer, Malik.
Thank you very much, Malik. He just made it under the wire there. Thank you very much for the support. Producer Malik.
Who is on a streak of at least 2.
Oh, yeah. I just threw him in there. I did not check his streak. I believe he's on a 2-episode streak. Thank you very much, Malik.
All right.
Okay. Look, we have ratings and reviews to do.
Yeah. Okay.
We have tons of stuff to do.
We have tons of stuff to do.
Sorry. For some reason, you saying all right made me think you were trying to get back into the stories.
No.
I know. All
right.
My bad.
All right.
Let's go.
All right.
Is
that annoying you yet?
Let's get this show on the road.
Okay. Well, there's other ways you can produce the show with your time and talent. And we would like to thank Jack V for sending in a jingle.
We have a new jingle.
And it is an executive producer jingle.
You have now reached executive level. Sheesh.
Sheesh. Have I talked about this sheesh thing?
I don't know. What is the sheesh thing?
It's a Gen Z thing. I don't know what it means. I don't know anything about it, but I have found and experienced that if you just go sheesh out in public anywhere, if there is a Gen Z person in your earshot, somebody will respond with sheesh.
Sheesh is used on TikTok to convey how impressed they are by something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. I was
so, for example,
I can't remember if I mentioned this on the show or not,
I don't
but
think you did.
I went mini golfing and I made a hole in one. This is recently in the past few weeks. I went mini golfing, made a hole in one, and just responsively went sheesh. And
Wow,
there's a half a dozen Gen Zs from across the mini golf course that went sheesh. Is really the most connected I've ever felt to the Gen Z generation.
That's so weird. When I was growing up, sheesh, like just saying sheesh was like disbelief, like negative.
I think it's still there. I think the root of that is still there. It's like, sheesh, I'm impressed or something. I have no idea. You saying that is giving me more information about that phrase than I had before.
I know. I'm Mr. Gen Z now, apparently.
Thank you very much, producer Jack V, the Gen Z Crypto Chat, for creating that jingle for us. The executive producers now have their own jingle.
Yeah, very nice. And of course, we have to present some artwork.
One art, please.
And the first piece comes from producer Ali.
One art, please. Another one from Ali now. Here it is.
Oh, this is great.
And this is titled "But I am smiling. Smile for the camera. Be happy, or else." The Chinese have an AI emotion recognition system to make sure workers are happy on the job. And if you think you can fake smile, and don't think you can fake smile because they can detect that from a mile away. And they also linked a story to every smile you fake. An AI emotion recognition system can assess how happy China's workers are in the office. Oh, gosh. And the piece of art here is a Chinese man with a nervous smile and a gun behind his head.
Yeah.
Pointed right at his dome. So,
oh, gosh, these poor Chinese citizens.
I know.
The social justice warriors would have you believe that whenever we refer to China, we mean Chinese people, which we never do. We refer to the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. The Chinese people really are a victim of that system.
Yeah.
And, it's quite sad, but we're with you, Chinese citizens. We don't want to share in your misery, but I'm praying for you.
Yeah. If there ever was a way to help people fight back, it's hard to do so in the Chinese government. The way they have
the hardest. You're not allowed to not smile.
Like if there's ever going to be a mech revolution or a rebellion, it would come from China. Just underground. There's a big army of rebels being created with, or rebels creating mech suits to go against the CCP.
The more time goes on, the more I think some sort of proletariat uprising will come from China, not from America.
Yeah.
Who knows though? We're pretty rebellious over here.
Yep. Next.
Thank you very much, producer Ali.
Thank you, producer Ali. Next up, we have one from producer Dove.
There he is.
There's a
coming
note.
in hot.
Yeah. Note. Peace. Wanted to make an illustration for our emperor, but have been putting off drawing the dark Sith Lord. So I drew this one up of Emperor Klaus Patine.
When I read this, it affected me so much. I cannot believe that we made the comparison to Klaus and Emperor Palpatine, and I did not think of Emperor Klaus Patine. It is perfect, a perfect joke, and you get a prize for that. Dove.
And this is Klaus Patine sitting on his throne and ruling over the empire, building it back better than it ever was before. Hope you like it. Keep doing what you guys do, and I'll keep praying for yins.
Yep. And the Build Back Better, of course, has 6s as the B's in Build Back Better. And here is an image that Dove has created, a beautiful image of Emperor Klaus Patine sitting on his space throne. And behind him, flying out in space, is the Anthony Fauci taking the majestic leap, riding his unicorn flying through the air. Nice little detail here. He's drawn space helmets, fishbowl space helmets on Dr. Fauci with his vaccine magic wand, and a bigger space helmet for
the unicorn,
stoned unicorn. Yes, very well done. And of course, we've got a couple of bottles of Lunarade down there, the official sports drink powered by the Blood Moon. Thank you very much. And if you zoom in on the little icon on Emperor Klaus Patine's robe, it is a Baphomet, but it is the derpiest Baphomet I've ever seen, and it is so funny.
Tongue sticking out, the whole deal, and
the eyeballs wandering.
Yeah, the soundtrack to this piece of art.
We need a great reset.
Learn to use the dark side of the Force.
Very good. All right. Appreciate that, Producer Dove. Last piece of art we have to share with you today is from producer Christine C. And she has a note. Oh my gosh, I'm doing 3 things at once. Here's the art, the first piece anyway. And for those of you watching, and let me read the note. These pieces are my own take on the requests of Malik9619 and Wild Tega on Twitch. The first piece depicts a FEMA camp in cooperation with Live Forever Industries. People are bussed in so that they can undergo brainwashing, preparing them to sign their contract and agree to be upgraded. There is a guard tower with men operating a sniper rifle. Do I have the wrong piece of art here showing up on the screen?
None of this. I do not have the stream open because I'm saving my bandwidth, and also the art is not in
that's right.
doc, so I don't know what you're looking at.
All right,
I think I have flying solo right now.
Okay,
Gons.
I have the correct piece of art in there now, so I apologize. I had it backwards here. For those of you watching, after successful programming is complete, the people that give in happily line up to go into the Live Forever Industries building to be processed. I included a flyover of chemtrails to show another piece of their control puzzle, and the piece of art here has everything she described here: chemtrail, little tower watching over things for Live Forever
FEMA
Industries,
camp.
FEMA camp.
I got it pulled up in the email now. Yes, and they are going into one mark of there's a warehouse marked with the mark of the beast. We got people going in one side, going in as humans, regular humans, coming out the other side as cyborgs. And that just about sums it up. Very
and
good. Watch out for those FEMA camps, folks.
The other piece here, the second piece, is a look inside the FEMA building, a classroom, so to speak. The man in the suit is a reptilian in charge of operating the mind control sessions. He has an assigned post-human bot to assist. The post-human bot is activating his one-eye mind control device to help convince the woman, whereas the man is already signing his contract. The white board says, quote, upgrade your life. To complete the Great Reset, it requires utter commitment to the principles set forth by our great leader. You must be willing to give up your personal ambitions in order to do your part in bringing our utopia to life. Commit today. The woman is subconsciously thoroughly up the devil horns with her right hand.
Probably throwing up the
devil horns with her right hand, illustrating how well the mind control is working. She's about to sign. Enjoy.
Very good. Thank you very much, producer Christine C.
Yes, thank you so much. And we appreciate all of our artists and producers and jingle makers. It really adds a lot to the show. And we also appreciate your reviews.
Whee! That's right. Yes, thank you very much to everybody who left reviews. Last week was the first time I ever gave us a quota on reviews, and I did that because the reviews, again, I know it might not be obvious, but for us on the back end here, to have a steady stream of ratings and reviews coming into Apple Podcasts activates the algorithms and shares the show. And so, therefore, you never know if your review is the thing that activates the algorithms to basically let a bunch of new people find the show. And it's showing, folks. The numbers are showing, and thank you for the reviews. I believe we exceeded our 5 review quota, but I'm going to just go down the list here and start reading. First of all, got one from Curved Pluto. 5-star review, Gons and Basil Rock. I tell everyone I can about your show. You're the best podcast out there. Hoping to wake people up in North Dakota. I love you both. Well, we love you back, Curved Pluto. Thank you so much. This always makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. Next up, we have B. Howard C. over an Apple Podcast. 5 stars. Best news show. Plus. Ooh. This is actually the best news and news commentary podcast out there. Basil and Gons work very well together. They rarely talk over each other, and they complement each other excellently. Plus, they do this show from a Judeo-Christian perspective, which is a huge and invaluable bonus. I recommend Canary Cry News Talk to anyone I know who listens to podcasts. I do have a few points of contention. Uh-oh. I did not read through this, so here we go.
Here we go.
I will say this is long, so I'm going to zoom through it. We will take our beating, Gons, and we will move on. I do have a few points of contention. And since they are so fabulous, I believe they can receive some constructive criticism. Yes, we can. Firstly, stop saying, there you go. It is not a catchphrase. That's a great point. I do catch myself saying that amongst other things, and it's just sort of a broadcast tick. Yes, I'm working on getting rid of that. It gets annoying, especially when you say it 20 times an episode. Yep, I agree. It adds nothing to the conversation, and when you omit it, you lose nothing. I agree. It's a filler phrase. It is not good radio. Okay, thank you. Okay. Secondly, instead of saying on the globe, here we go. Say worldwide. Yes, we also agree. And we try our hardest not to refer to the globe, but we are brainwashed. Worldwide means the same thing, but it doesn't offend either camp. All the available science and everything in the Bible about it reveals that the globe reality is bunk. Have Rob Skiba on your show. Okay. Look, he has an amazing presentation on the subject. You're right. We try our hardest. We do slip up. Also, we will say that Rob Skiba learned about, he freely admits that he learned about flat earth from us. So yes, we are aware of Rob Skiba's flat earthism. Thirdly, in radio, they're not called jingles. They're called drops. The drop is designed to speak for itself. It is dropped in without any commentary on the drop. It's almost like the audience is the only ones who hear the drop, while the hosts just continue quickly after the drop is dropped. Have your drops ready. Don't say I'm looking for it or where did I put that? Just drop it, move on. Drops are great, but there is a professional way to do them. And when they're seamless, it's great radio. But when they're mentioned, explained, searched for, it becomes bad radio. Okay, bad radio, Gons. Fourthly, please stop hating on advertising. No, I will not. I receive your criticism, but when a man opens a store to make money, feed his family, and puts a sign over the entrance that says bicycles, he is advertising his business. Okay. And to not do so would be... It's okay. Just
go ahead.
Take your lashings, Gons.
I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Plus, when you sell the value for value model, you are advertising that model. Okay. You are still asking for donations. No, they're producerships, but in a cleverly different way, and that's just fine. But if you want to be if you want a banana company advertised on your show, you wouldn't have to change your message at all. And if the company, okay, all right, I can take my lashings, but okay, we get it. You're fine with advertising. Bottom line, I love the value for value model, and the reason I do is because you marketed it, advertised it. Fifthly, it's a lot of lashings here, Gons. Fifthly, please don't say weird, strange, or bizarre. These are empty and overgeneralized adjectives. Instead of weird, say deceptive. Or instead of strange, say wicked. Or instead of bizarre, say conspiratorial. Use adjectives that don't beat around the bush. Sixthly, oh my gosh, ask critical questions to guests. Don't just let them filibuster for a half hour. Probe their message. Ask the tough questions. Okay, don't throw softballs. If their message is worthy of your show, then they should be able to defend criticism, handle follow-up questions, and deal with those who disagree with them. Seventhly, SOTs, sound on tape are great. Do even more of them. Other voices and drops Make the show thicker and more complex whenever possible. Don't
thicker.
read
I like that. Make the show thicker.
thicker. THICC. Don't read what a person said, but let us hear them in their own voice. I listen every day. Keep up the good work. There you go. Okay, thank you very much, B. Howard C., for that thorough lashing. And yes, we do receive the criticism. I agree with much of it. Some of it I don't, but your input is valued.
Thank you for that.
Thanks for the review.
Thank you for that. And there you go. Sorry, I'm trying to trigger him.
Oh, yeah. Triggered. There you go. Around the globe. Just joking. Fuego Stomper, 5 stars. These guys rock. As brothers in Christ Jesus, Basil and Gons reveal the soft underbelly of the beast system in a style that relates to an old, used-up firefighter as myself. God bless me through this ministry. Thank you very much, Fuego Stomper. Great username for a firefighter. Fuego Stomper. Okay, what was the date of last Friday?
The 11th.
The 11th. Okay, a couple more here. 5 stars from Curved. Oh, this one he deleted. Okay, never mind. That's he updated his. Then we have Joby G. Feel like I read this one. Yasum, 5 stars. These guys are like a great cup of coffee. You'll wake up with a tasty sip of Canary Cry. This next one is AIG773. 5 stars. 33 reasons why I enjoy the show. Nah, just 2. B&G make a good team. Very informative, lighthearted. Keep up the good work, comrades. God bless you guys and your family. We had another one here. Kellen, 5 stars. A legendary duo. Basil and Gons are a legendary duo. They evoke archetypal comparisons to other renegade warriors such as Cassidy and Sundance, John and Paul, Flynn and Tron, etc., etc. If the human timeline continues long enough, Canary Cry will be mythologized as one of the last vestiges against the Nothing. Thank you very much. Legendary duo. I like that. Those are some great comparisons.
Yeah, it would be nice if we're included in the main timeline as the way Loki and the Timekeepers
That's right. And that's all of our new reviews. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, we did it. We filled the quota. We had that extra long one there filled with great advice. But thank you very much. This was wonderful. And yes, I saw the numbers. These reviews worked this week. And so, you know what? I'm going to keep that 5 review quota. 5 of them. Come on, folks. You can leave a rating and a review by heading over to Apple Podcasts. If you're on an iPhone, you have Apple Podcasts on your phone already. But head over to Apple Podcasts, leave a rating and a review for Canary Cry News Talk. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button while you're there, just to make sure. And okay, there we go. 5 reviews. We can do it. Can we do it 2 weeks in a row? It's one thing to do it once. Can we do it twice? Thank you very much. And I will say this. We always love our lashings. We're sort of, we're freaky like that. But please email them to us. It's unless you want us to punish ourselves on the show in public, but keep it
entirely possible.
Yes, just slightly more succinct. But there we go. If I was to give my own constructive criticism to reviewers, a little bit more succinct. Thank you very much. Okay, ready?
Yep.
For whatever's next, are we done? Can
We're
we
done.
continue the show?
Yeah, we can do it. We got to be quick though.
Yes, we do.
It's wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
And we're going to do some Waxine updates here. This first one, just want to annoy everybody. I'm going to play, 30 seconds or so of this couple doing a song. And my goodness, if get ready, put on your cringe blockers, but I think it might penetrate through.
I kept dancing.
I wanna be allowed to be in a crowd. Just hurry up and send a shot my way.
You got this, baby.
I wanna be immune to death. one more vaccine. Don't want COVID-19. It's been 10 months.
I have nothing to offer here.
Just come on, vaccine. So many exposed. When will we get our dose? Just please hurry.
I got nothing.
And come on, vaccine. Such a good backup dancer. Yeah. You know, well, here's what's been going on so far. England got theirs first. Come on, vaccine. We had Project Warp Speed, but somehow our rollout is the worst. This has really sucked. Come on, vaccine. Missed holidays and birthdays.
Okay.
Come on.
Wow.
Keeps going.
Not gonna lie, Gons. That we've listened to a few of these on the show now. These little basically paid for advertisements for the vaccine on social media. This one slaps. I like this one. This one's a banger. This is the best one so far.
But also, as a sound engineer, I can hear the auto tune on the voice, and I don't mind the auto tune, but don't pretend like you're doing it live. This is highly edited.
Or was he trying to give the impression that it was live?
Yeah, because they're videotaping the whole thing, and you know I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. It's like a live video capturing of them singing, and it looks like it's a lot of the take sounds real, but it is edited after the fact, and they did put some auto tune on the voice. That's the only thing. But of course, it is shiny. It's catchy. It's probably on TikTok, so they probably didn't have to pay any royalties on it. And if this convinces you to get the jab, well, good luck.
Hey, that's your thing, man. Yeah. Okay. Well, the cringe continues. I can't believe they're still on this campaign. Is the thing. It must be working, or at least some consulting company is convincing them that it's working. Whether or not, who knows? But again, that's the internet for you.
Yeah.
Everything and anything all of the time.
I want to run through a couple headlines just because we don't have time to really dig into the stories. This first one here is Reuters.com. Hundreds of vaccinated Indonesian health workers get COVID-19, dozens in hospital. And just surprise. Get a brief here. Jakarta, more than 350 doctors and medical workers have caught COVID-19 in Indonesia despite being vaccinated with Sinovac, and dozens have been hospitalized, officials said, as concerns grow about the efficacy of some vaccines against more infectious variants.
There it is.
Variants. It's the Delta variant.
The common cold.
Kudus, which has about 5,000 health workers, is battling an outbreak believed to be derived by the more transmissible Delta variant, which has raised its bed occupancy rates above 90%. So a lot of agendas working here. You have the vaccines, but also vaccines, people getting vaccinated, vaccines not working, the variant narrative. It's all coming together, Basil, for round 2 of the pandemic, the COVID-21.
Yeah, and this wasn't. Where was this? Indonesia.
Indonesia, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if that's on the list of Biden vaccine donations of our expired vaccines.
yeah, the expired ones. Go ahead and give them anyway. And then a bunch of people get sick from it.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing, too. Did they test positive from... did the vaccines, make him more susceptible, maybe? Or give him the thing?
Knows?
Yeah, who knows?
It could literally be anything at this point. Yeah. That's the problem with... Not the problem with the story. Not the problem with the event. Maybe more of a problem with the story is we are so aware of all the little ways that this can be either manipulated or the myriad of ways that this could be the result of the tests. It's just it could literally be any of a half a dozen reasons why this happened.
Yeah. Moving on here real quick. Let me do a couple of these and then I'll let you do the Bezos story.
Yes, please.
New York Times, a pill to treat COVID-19. We've talked about it before. The U.S. is betting on it. A new $3.2 billion program will support the development of antiviral pills, which could start arriving by the end of this year. And the reason why I would bring it up is because they had mentioned a few billion on building this or developing this pill, and now they're pouring in 3-point-something billion more. A number of other viruses, including influenza, HIV, and hepatitis C, can be treated with a simple pill, but despite more than a year of research, no such pill exists to treat someone with a coronavirus infection before it wreaks havoc.
That's so interesting because there's multiple companies, including Pfizer, working on this pill form thing. They're coming at it with a pretty bad attitude here, New York Times.
And we had mentioned the doctor in the last episode of the FACCC. I think that was the acronym. The doctor's trying to fight COVID-19. He's pro ivermectin, and he was complaining about how Merck had received $1.2 billion to develop the treatments that are kind of like ivermectin. And now, along with that, another 3-point-something billion. Let's just throw as many billions as we can.
Nothing matters.
For the big pharma companies to make money.
Anything.
Pour billions into the big pharma companies so that we can extract multiple billions or trillions out of the population. Is basically the agenda here.
Yep, exactly.
And one last quick thing here. This is a CNN Business. CureVac shares drop 45% after disappointing COVID vaccine results. So shares in CureVac plummeted on Thursday after German biotech company said that interim trial results showed its experimental COVID-19 vaccine was only 47% effective in preventing symptomatic disease. And the charts, I don't know if you saw the charts, Basil, but it looks like a rug pull.
Painful. It's painful.
Straight down. The shares,
like the 2017 Bitcoin crash.
Yeah, well, that one had a little more bounce to it. There was a little dead cat bounce. There's a lot. This one, it literally in one day, it went from about $95 a share to 50, nearly a 50% straight down off the cliff, flat earth, edge of the earth. Kind of drop there is unreal, but
that is so interesting. Interesting how it's a German company. BioNTech, of course, the company that teamed up with Pfizer, was, I believe, also a German company.
Yeah,
and it's kind of again going to the economic warfare between the vaccine companies. If you're not protected by Pfizer or Moderna, you're nothing basically. They'll do whatever needs to be done to snuff you out. They want to hold on to it.
Yeah. So there you go. And then you go ahead and cover this Bezos story.
You got a 4 horsemen drop handy guns.
The 4 horsemen of the technopolis.
Anytime you see the 4 horsemen, it's something special.
This is from Russia Today, your daily dose of Russian propaganda. The headline reads, Ask Bezos to eat Mona Lisa. Okay.
What?
Everything I'm about to say, you are hearing correctly. Ask Bezos to eat Mona Lisa and deny him re-entry to Earth. Petition gets 17,000 plus signatures ahead of Amazon founder's space trip. That's right. A petition calling for Amazon founder. Oh, I said it again.
That's right.
That's right. Sorry, that wasn't the one he was complaining about, but that is one I cannot
there you go.
Say. There you go. A petition calling for Amazon founder Jeff Bezos to be denied re-entry to Earth following his trip to space next month has received nearly 10,000 signatures. Another petition calling for him to eat the Mona Lisa has received 7,000 signatures. Bezos will take a 10-minute test flight to space on July 20th with his brother Mark, along with the tourist who paid $28 million for the privilege, aboard the New Shepard reusable rocket created by Bezos' Blue Origin aerospace company. Though many people across the world have been eagerly anticipating the demonstration of a new blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares about your spaceship, Bezos. The joke petition to not allow Jeff Bezos re-entry to Earth has received over 9,500 signature as of writings and claims Bezos is actually Superman villain Lex Luthor. They are not wrong. I'm checking in on this petition. Now has 16,000 signatures.
Yeah, it's Lex Luthor, quote, disguised as the supposed owner of a super successful online retail store.
That's right.
Oh,
Jeff Bezos.
And listen to this here. However, and this is continuing on here on the petition.
Yeah.
However, he's actually an evil overlord hell-bent on global domination. We've known this for years. Jeff has worked with the Epsteins and the Knights Templar, as well as the Freemasons, to gain control over the whole world, the petition continues, accusing him of being, quote, in bed with the flat earth deniers, as, quote, it's the only way they'll allow him to leave the atmosphere.
Okay, they're having fun here. This is good. People who signed the petition also called Bezos, quote, a cancer upon the planet.
Oh my gosh.
And asked the Amazon founder to take fellow billionaire Elon Musk with him. Meanwhile, another Bezos-themed petition has also gone viral, requesting he purchase and eat Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa painting.
What's up with the eating the paintings? Can't they come up with
It's
something
hilarious.
a little bit more?
It is so funny. It's so funny. Quote, we want Jeff Bezos to buy and eat the Mona Lisa. Has received over 6,800 signature. That's writing. The description simply reads, quote, nobody has eaten the Mona Lisa, and we feel Jeff Bezos needs to take a stand and make this happen. What in the world? That is the funniest thing that they could have chosen. I know, Gons, you're not on board with me on
It's
this.
funny, but I was thinking, come on, you can
There's
come up with
no
something better.
funnier request to make of Jeff Bezos. Okay, there you go. That's the end of the story. Also, Bo Burnham fans want me to mention he's got a couple great Jeff Bezos songs on the special.
Yeah.
I am not getting paid by Bo Burnham.
Apparently, you are his number one fanboy. You love Bo Burnham.
All right, moving on.
Real quick here to wrap the show, because I have a meeting at noon, which is in
You have a
8
meeting,
minutes,
and
which
and
I don't
I've got
even know
some-
how we're gonna get there in time. But
I've
this is
got
a
ghosts
very
wanting
quick.
me to wrap up here.
Yeah, this is a very quick Epstein update here. Boy, what happened? I think I sacrificed. Oh,
Epstein didn't kill himself.
Bloomberg.
Sorry, I just read the Mona Lisa thing again. sorry,
Really tickling you.
It's
this one might
incredible.
too then. But this is a serious story.
Okay,
Ghislaine
relax.
Maxwell wins $13.70 legal payment from abuse accuser.
What?
Ghislaine Maxwell, the British socialite fighting sex trafficking charges, won a rare court victory Wednesday. A judge ordered one of her accusers to pay her $13.70 to cover litigation expenses. A woman who filed suit last year using pseudonym Jane Doe claimed Maxwell acted like, quote, an older sister to her when she was just 13, taking her to movies and shopping while grooming her to be sexually abused by Epstein and ultimately raped by him at age 17. Doe dropped the case after joining a settlement that offered a victims' compensation fund set up by the Epstein's estate. Maxwell, through her lawyer Laura Menninger, then seized on a provision in the law that allows the prevailing party to be reimbursed for costs other than attorney fees when a case is voluntarily dismissed. Maxwell submitted a bill for $5 in court docketing fees and $8.70 in, quote, other costs. That appears to be what the federal court system charged her for, reading documents online at 10 cents a page.
Whoa, she just needed a win, didn't she?
What?
you know what? You know what this sounds like is her lawyer knowing that this is a hopeless situation and just needing to get the W.
Give me a W at any cost.
Just give me a win, anything. Just give me anything at all. This is such a lost cause. Just let's file for the $13. We need something to keep her job. I think the lawyer Laura Menninger.
Yeah, well, I was thinking they probably didn't want the amount in the headline. They probably wanted Ghislaine Maxwell wins legal payment from abuse accuser. and omit the $13.70.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it. Yeah, this was sort of an attempt to
nice try
to get the headline. Yeah, nice try. Wow. And especially, interesting given what is this outlet? Oh, this is Bloomberg. Yeah, they never would have given it to her. I would have been interested to see if New York Times or Washington Post or some other outlet. I want to know if any of the outlets gave them the headline that they were looking for.
Yeah, no, probably not.
Yeah,
we'll see. Maybe. Yeah, I haven't looked, but
okay.
All right.
Wow. Well, that is an interesting update. Actually, it shows some real desperation, which it does not come as a surprise. But
nope.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go, Gons.
There you go. There you go.
Dang it. Shoot. Ugh.
It's okay. You don't need to please
There's salt
one
in
listener.
these wounds. I do need to. I mean, look, and we don't need to harp on this, but he's got good advice. Much of it we already work on, but there you go. So
there you go. You did it again.
Dang it!
It is.
Sorry, B. Howard C. I'm sorry.
You need a shock collar to make it stop. All right, I won't.
There has to be some sort of microservice that a streamer can hook up some electrodes, and there's a certain command chat, or maybe like a Twitch donation that can come in that just gives me a little zap.
Yeah. All right, we got to get out of here. So I need to get on this call.
Let's go. Here we go, folks. The fastest outro in history. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Remember, we will be back next Friday. I don't know what the date is.
Next Monday, of course.
Oh my gosh. Next Monday, of course, which is the 21st. That's right. June 21st. Be back. And thank you very much for tuning in. And thank you to all of our producers for this episode. Those producers are Till Billy Girl, Sarah S, PBM, Trevor M, Sir Jason, Raymond P, Sarah S, Aaron J, Rashana, Matthew, DLM, Cherie, Sir Casey the Shield Knight, James H, Quantum Epic, Daniel from Down Under, Ciara F, Tristan H, Scott K, Kim W, Reverie Decoded, Laura E, Malik. And thank you to all of our jingle makers and our artists for making this episode 352 happen. You are the best. And if you want to be a part of 353, you can become a producer. Please consider doing so. It's the only way that we're able to do the show at the frequency, the length, and the quality that we are able to. So if you want to keep the show going and feel good about it and get some ownership of the show, please consider becoming a producer by heading over to patreon.com/ccnt. That's patreon.com/ccnt, or even better, head on over to canarycryradio.com/support.
canarycryradio.com/support.
That's right, canarycryradio.com/support. Go do it. It's a great time. And remember to leave ratings and reviews. We've reset our quota for 5 reviews by next Friday. I know we can do it. If you have not left a rating or a review, please do so. It helps us in ways that I can't not possibly put into words any better than I already have. And remember to if you're a creative person, you can create art, create jingles, even songs, and send them all to canarycryradio@gmail.com or canarycryradio@protonmail.com. We love to feature the creative works of our producers on the show and its wonderful content. So thank you very much for that. Remember to share the show out, share it on your social media, share it person to person, anybody you know who listens to podcasts. Just tell them about the show. It's extremely helpful. And since we are no longer allowed on YouTube, we got to do this the old fashioned way, folks. So there you go. They will be very grateful because you got friends and family who are starting to wake up to the fact that the world is not what it seems. And you can share this show with them. We're very friendly to new people who are finding their way, figuring out how to navigate the mainstream media and its mind control. We like to call it rattling cages. And if you need any more instructions, here's what you do. You walk right up to them, you grab them by the cage, then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Gons, any last words? Spooky words.
Revelation 7:17, for the Lamb is the center of the throne, will be their shepherd. He will lead them to springs of living water, and God will wipe away every tear from their eyes. Remember that, folks. Have hope. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys Monday.
That's right. And a quick ghost report. No ghosts.
They're all afraid of you. They're afraid of the Jesus bubble around you.
I know. I've got a bright, shining light that they cannot penetrate. Remember, we'll be back on Monday, the 21st. We'll see you there, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage.
Come on, man. Boy, it's really a productive segment, man. 120 days. Keep yapping, man. Anytime. Give me a break. 120 days. Aborted feces.
He's a Satanist and melt those babies into candles. You can't handle the truth.
I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo.
Are you even woke?
Aliens.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Bye!
I want to shake things up, shake things up. I want to shake things up, shake things up. Leave the bird alone. I want to stir up some controversy. I want to rattle a few cages. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. I'm the last angry man. You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man. A crusader for the little guy. Well, we'll see about that.
Whatever, Illuminati.
In the future, humans will be confined in a people's zoo.
I'll keep you safe and warm in my people's zoo.
We need a great reset.
Keep you safe and warm now in my people's zoo. You in my people's zoo. I'll keep the cameras on.
Made by the aliens.
I'll keep the cameras on now in my people's zoo.
It will kill.
You in my people's zoo.
Need time. Give me a break.
You're under arrest for crimes against science.
We need a great reset.
Learn to use the dark side of the force.
We know how to change the way the public thinks of me. Step 1, amass a vast media empire.
I'll make you fat and sassy in my people's zoo.
Everybody wants waffles.
I'll make you fat and sassy.
Talk to me oysters.
You in my people's zoo.
I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo.
Do not come back, you Nazi psychopaths.